What you're about to witness will leave you absolutely speechless. Tonight, we're breaking down the moment that sent shockwaves through the entire WWE universe the night Nick Aldis didn't just step into the ring, he stepped into history. This is the story of power, betrayal, and one decision that changed everything. I'm telling you right now, by the time we reach the end of this video, you will not believe what happened. So buckle up, because this is SLAMZONE, and we're about to take you on a ride you will never forget. Before we dive into this absolute war, if you love wrestling, if you live for these moments, then you need to be part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Seriously, do it for me, because every single one of you watching means the world to this channel. We're building something special here together, and I don't want you to miss a single breakdown, a single match analysis, or a single legendary moment. Smash that notification bell so you're always the first to know when we drop new content. Trust me, you're going to want to be here for what's coming. Now, let's get into it. The arena is electric. You can feel it through the screen, that raw, unfiltered energy that only happens when something massive is about to go down. The crowd is on their feet, the lights are blazing, and the anticipation is suffocating. This is SmackDown, and tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is not just another night. This is the night where careers can be made or broken in an instant. Paul Heyman stands in the center of that ring like he owns it. And why wouldn't he? This man has orchestrated some of the most diabolical plans in WWE history. He's the wise man, the special counsel, the mastermind behind absolute destruction. His suit is immaculate, his microphone is clutched in his hand like a weapon, and that smirk, that knowing, arrogant smirk, is plastered across his face. He's here for one reason and one reason only, to announce his team for Wargames. And the WWE universe is hanging on every single word. Heyman begins to speak, and immediately, the crowd erupts. Half of them are booing him out of the building, the other half are chanting, and the chaos is deafening. But Heyman, he thrives in this. He feeds off it. He raises that microphone, and his voice cuts through the noise like a blade. He talks about dominance. He talks about legacy. He talks about how his team is going to walk into Wargames and leave nothing but broken bodies and shattered dreams in their wake. You can see it in his eyes, he believes every word. And why shouldn't he? He's got the strategy, he's got the talent, and he's got the audacity to back it all up. The camera zooms in on his face, and you can see the confidence oozing from every pore. This man has a plan, and he's ready to execute it with surgical precision. But then, something shifts. The energy in the arena changes. It's subtle at first, like a storm brewing on the horizon. The crowd starts to murmur, heads start to turn, and you can feel the tension building. Heyman pauses mid-sentence, and for the first time, that smirk falters. Just a fraction. Just enough to let you know that something is wrong. And that's when the music hits. The lights dim. The Titantron flickers to life. And the entire arena explodes. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Aldis is here. The general manager of SmackDown is walking down that ramp with a purpose, and you can see it written all over his face. This man is not here to play games. He's not here to negotiate. He's here to make a statement. Aldis is dressed sharp, every inch the authority figure, but there's a fire in his eyes that tells you he's ready to burn everything to the ground if he has to. The crowd is going absolutely insane. Chants of Aldis, Aldis, Aldis are thundering through the arena, and you can feel the ground shaking beneath your feet. This is what wrestling is all about, this moment, this energy, this feeling that anything can happen. Heyman's face drops. The confidence is gone. The arrogance is replaced with something else, concern, maybe even fear. He knows what's coming. He knows that when Nick Aldis walks out here with that look in his eyes, someone is about to have a very bad night. Aldis steps into the ring, and the two men stand face to face. The camera cuts between them, capturing every detail. Heyman's jaw is clenched. Aldis's chest is heaving. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. The crowd is deafening, but inside that ring, you could hear a pin drop. These two titans are locked in a stare down that feels like it lasts an eternity. And then Aldis speaks. His voice is calm, controlled, but there's a venom underneath that is unmistakable. He looks Heyman dead in the eye and tells him that his little plan, his grand scheme for Wargames, is not going to happen. Not tonight. Not ever. The crowd erupts again, louder than before, and you can see the disbelief washing over Heyman's face. Heyman tries to respond, stumbling over his words, grasping for control that is slipping through his fingers like sand. He's stammering, he's gesturing wildly, and for the first time in his career, Paul Heyman looks rattled. This man, who has stood across from legends, who has orchestrated empires, is being dismantled piece by Nick Aldis, and it is glorious to watch. Aldis lays down the law. He explains, with surgical precision, why Heyman's team will not compete the way he planned. He outlines the rules, the regulations, and the authority that he wields as general manager. And with every word, you can see Heyman shrinking. The wise man is being outsmarted, outmaneuvered, and outclassed, and the WWE universe is eating it up. The camera pans to the crowd, and the reactions are priceless. Fans are jumping, screaming, holding up signs, their faces painted with pure joy. This is what they came for. This is the chaos, the drama, the unpredictability that makes wrestling the greatest sport on the planet. You can feel the emotion radiating from every corner of that arena. Heyman tries one last desperate move. He points a finger in Aldis's face, attempting to regain some semblance of control, some shred of dignity. But Aldis doesn't flinch. He stands there, unmoved, like a wall of stone. And then, with one final, devastating sentence, Aldis crushes Heyman's plan completely. The words hang in the air like a death sentence, and the crowd goes absolutely ballistic. Heyman's face is a mix of rage and despair. His hands drop to his sides. His shoulders slump. The wise man has been defeated, not with fists or finishers, but with authority, intelligence, and sheer force of will. And Nick Aldis stands tall, the undisputed master of this moment. Hold on, I need you to do something for me real quick. If you're loving this breakdown, if you're feeling this energy, then show me some love. Hit that like button right now. Let me know you're with me. Subscribe to SLAMZONE if you haven't already, because we're just getting started, and trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next. Comment below and tell me what you think about what Nick Aldis just did. Was it genius? Was it brutal? Let me know. And share this video with your wrestling crew, because content like this needs to be seen. Alright, now let's get back to it. The aftermath is just as intense as the confrontation itself. Heyman is left standing in the ring, his microphone hanging limply in his hand, as Aldis walks back up the ramp like a conquering hero. The crowd is still on their feet, chanting his name, and the energy is absolutely unreal. This is the kind of moment that gets replayed for years. This is the kind of moment that defines careers. But let's talk about what this really means. Paul Heyman has been the puppet master for so long, pulling strings, orchestrating chaos, controlling narratives. He's the man behind the man, the voice of dominance, the architect of destruction. But tonight, Nick Aldis just showed the entire world that no one is untouchable. No one is beyond the reach of authority when that authority is wielded by someone who isn't afraid to use it. And the implications for Wargames are massive. Heyman's entire strategy has been thrown into chaos. His team, his plan, his vision, all of it has been shattered in one fell swoop. Now he has to scramble, he has to rebuild, he has to figure out how to salvage what's left of his master plan. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where things get really interesting. Because Wargames is not just any match. It's brutal. It's unforgiving. It's a war inside a steel cage where alliances are tested, limits are pushed, and bodies are broken. And now, with Heyman's plan in ruins, the chaos is only going to escalate. The unpredictability is going to skyrocket. And that makes this one of the most exciting storylines heading into one of the most dangerous matches in all of professional wrestling. Nick Aldis didn't just crush a plan tonight. He sent a message to everyone in the locker room, everyone in the WWE universe, and everyone watching around the world. The message is simple: I'm in charge. And if you try to manipulate, if you try to scheme, if you try to bend the rules to your advantage, I will shut you down without hesitation. The crowd is still buzzing as the show continues. You can see fans talking to each other, pointing at the screen, reliving the moment over and over again. This is the kind of segment that gets dissected on social media, debated on podcasts, and remembered for a lifetime. This is what makes wrestling beautiful. And let's not forget the personal side of this. Heyman has been humiliated. His ego has taken a massive hit. And if there's one thing we know about Paul Heyman, it's that he does not forget, and he does not forgive. This is not over. Not by a long shot. Heyman is going to come back harder, smarter, and more dangerous than ever before. He's going to find a way to retaliate, to regain control, to prove that he's still the wise man. But for now, in this moment, Nick Aldis stands victorious. He's the man who said no. The man who drew the line. The man who reminded everyone that authority still matters, rules still exist, and justice can still prevail. Ladies and gentlemen, what a night. What an absolute war of words and wills. Nick Aldis just delivered one of the most commanding performances we've seen from a general manager in a long time, and Paul Heyman just learned that even the smartest minds can be outplayed. Before we wrap this up, I need you to do one more thing for me. If you made it this far, you're part of the SLAMZONE family, and I appreciate every single one of you. Hit that like button one more time, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure those notifications are turned on. We've got more breakdowns, more analysis, and more legendary moments coming your way every single week. Comment below and let me know what you thought of this entire situation. Do you think Heyman will bounce back? Is Nick Aldis the best general manager in WWE right now? Let's talk about it. This is SLAMZONE, where legends are made and stories are told. I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong, stay passionate, and keep watching wrestling.